Welcome back to the Masters of Recon podcast, your top automotive refinishing podcast with your hosts, Corey Kleinfeld
and Ryan Brewer. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Welcome back to the Masters of Recon podcast. Today, we have a fantastic guest. His name is Jared, and he is a customer of Ryan Brewer's turned RestorFX center manager. He's been in the automotive industry for 15 years. And he loves talking about RestorFX. I've learned in the last 2 minutes. So welcome to the show, Jared. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, man. How's it going? Glad to be here.
Very good. So Ryan, how'd you find this guy? How'd you find him? He's fantastic.
Jared, man, it's crazy. I've been knowing Jared since I moved out here to Lafayette. He used to work for a company that sold accessories, wheels, tires, powder coat, and all that good stuff. And I was over there fixing dents sometimes and then referring a lot of customers over. And every time I was around him, he just had this addictive, thing about him that I was like, man, just like me and you, Corey, as soon as I met him, I was like, this dude's like my brother, right?
It works. Yeah.
Right. So it just became an easy relationship to have. And then, he had some issues with his vehicle that he wanted fixed, and we wound up doing a clear coat. We wound up doing ceramic coating first. That didn't last. And then I said, man, let's just do this RestorFX. You're going to like it more than you like the ceramic. And he was like blown away by the process, right, and the product. And then everything kind of fell into place with that. We'll get into the future of like another reason why he came on, because of what our vision is for this company. And I feel like he was the best person to help me do that. And that's just, it's going to work out great. So we can let Jared take that over.
So yeah, Jared, let's hear your perspective on like seeing Ryan as a PDR guy turned RestorFX, and then you having the product applied to your truck and all that stuff. So let's hear that side.
Yeah. Honestly, Ryan's been in the dent game for so long. And like I said, we used to have a dent guy actually in our shop when we first started off.
Oh, really?
So I saw stuff that guy can do. And it was crazy. And then I'd never seen anybody else on that level. And then I meet Ryan, and Ryan's, everybody knows him out here as, he's one of the best guys in the industry. Everybody that I met just said how awesome of a guy Ryan was, how he was a great person. Not one person had a bad thing to say about him, and the way that he ran his business and his vision, as far as continuing to grow the business, we were just on the same page with that. And Ryan's a great worker. Ryan, man, what he does with dents and what he does with the shop is it's second to none, with his speed and what he can do. So I just felt that it was going to be a great marriage, especially because of how much I truly believed in the RestorFX product. It wasn't like I was just coming in to just try to sell something that I didn't really care about. I truly, truly believed that this was something that could come in and fill a gap that's in the industry. There's nothing else that does what we do or can give out the results that we can give in the amount of time that we can do it, or with the quality that we can do it. So that was the main thing that drew me in. And then once we did my vehicle, I was like, well, where has this been all the time?
Yeah, like what the heck? Yeah.
Like why do I not know about this, and why do more people not know about it? So whenever the opportunity came up, it's kind of like Ryan said, man, I just felt like it was just a match made in heaven. It didn't really take us a heck of a lot of conversation. We just kind of both have the same vision for the possibility of growth of Dent Pro and RestorFX, and so many other things beyond that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you had paint correction. You just told me the story. Tell me the story again. Paint correction on your vehicle. So RestorFX.
Yeah. So way before I met Ryan years ago, I had a black F-150. It was all scratched, all swirled up. Dropped it off to a guy that everybody knew in town. It was actually Hart, Ryan. Guy everybody knew in town. So it was a week-long process. I had to keep going over there. My whole truck was taped off. He was sanding down my clear coat. He was telling me that he was worried about, have my truck ever had any prior repair on it before, because he didn't want to have to burn through my clear coat. So it was just a long, drawn-out process. And the results were good, but I find that they weren't anything close to what the results with the RestorFX is. Because when you're doing what I kind of explain to customers, I kind of pick up my phone and I show them, when we're doing, they're doing a 4-step or a 5-step paint correction on your vehicle. If your clear coat's this thick, they're cutting down half of that clear coat to be able to get all that damage out. We're the exact opposite of that. We're leaving your car as with the paintless dent repair in the factory condition that it's in, and actually improving what's already there. And on reds, blacks, and most colors, it adds a depth to the paint that gives it a different luster and a different shine. So even when my truck was ceramic coated, I found that I like the results better with the RestorFX as opposed to all the things that I had done before. So it was just truly amazing where we were able to take my G-Wagon from being something that was, almost like it needed to be repainted until looking like you just took my vehicle into a paint shop and totally re-clear coated it. So that's a huge thing. A lot of customers come in and they just can't believe when they pick up their vehicles. They're like, "You sure y'all didn't paint my vehicle?" And I'm like, "Ma'am, I promise you, for $780 or the $800 that we charged you, we didn't repaint your whole vehicle." But that's how blown away they are by the results, and people just cannot believe that this type of thing is there and that it's not a more popular thing in the industry.
100%. And I think that's why all the PDR guys that are seeing this are jumping on to the RestorFX. And it is a visual thing. Like, you go to the Mobile Tech Expo and you see it in person and you're just like, man, you're one of two ways. Either you feel like it's completely gimmicky, like there's no way it's permanent, there's no way it lasts, it's gonna whatever, like it's some silicone spray or some shit, type of thing. Or they're like, damn, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. For sure. It's definitely something that I run into with customers when I'm explaining to them exactly what RestorFX is. They kind of have this, "Oh, well, is it a spray on or is it like a," I'm like, "No, the best I can explain it to you, it's more like a wipe on clear coat." You can imagine if we were re-clear coating your whole vehicle, but instead of applying it out of a gun, we're applying it through a hand applied process. So they kind of help them kind of get in that headspace, stop thinking that it's not a ceramic coat. It's not something that we're just spraying on your vehicle. It's not something that's just going to wipe off. I tell them it's something that's permanently bonded to the paint of your vehicle. And what also helps too is, surprisingly, when we give them those little warranty cards and show them like, "Hey man, we're giving you something that is going to stick with you," So we make sure that we give those customers those cards so they have something proprietary they can put in their hands. So they don't feel like you're just kind of giving them a promise.
You're gone and it's like,
"Hey, see you later." They walk out with a little credit card and they're like, "Wait, I can bring this anywhere?" I'm like, "Yeah, like we have restore centers all over the country. If you ever have any issues, we literally offer a lifetime warranty on the product," and they just can't believe it. So yeah, man, it's a huge selling point for sure.
Yeah, that's killer. Do you ever talk? I remember one podcast, Ryan, we were doing a while back with I think it was Alex and Nick. They were talking about being a flux coat. Do you ever talk about it being a flux coat, where it's actually bonded as the same clear coat?
I haven't, as far as flux, I don't know if I've gotten that.
I'm just curious. I don't really use it either, but I always think about it. Like, I don't know if it'd be too confusing or like too like gimmicky.
Yeah, you gotta
technical with customers.
Right.
Those flux, they're like, they don't understand those things. So that's why I try to keep it like simple, because customers come in here and the shop already smells like clear coat anyways. So I'm like, the reason why it smells like we're painting vehicles in here is because that's basically what it is. That's how close the atoms and the molecules are in this RestorFX product, that it is so close to the chemical composition of your factory clear coat that it's able to permanently bond itself to your vehicle and guaranteed to never fade, crack, delaminate, or peel. And I mean, we've got some great before and after pictures that I did of like some pretty bad vehicles, and the customers are literally blown away at the capabilities of what RestorFX can do when you really put it in front of them and show them, which is why I'm working on an ad campaign that I'm putting together on Facebook, and we'll be doing some commercials and stuff, because I want to, try to increase the brand awareness of RestorFX, because like I said, I want it to be spoken about in the same breath as people talk about doing paint correction and ceramic, but you ask, like I said, you ask 100 people in this town and they have no idea what paintless clear coat restoration is, but everybody knows what paintless dent repair is. So I want to kind of try to end up on that same playing field to where everybody's like, when they see your cars mess up, like, "Oh dude, you need to get a paintless clear coat repaired." Not you got to go get it 5-step paint corrected and cut down all your clear coat on your vehicle. And then you do it one time, and then who knows if it's been done before, because you probably can't do it again. So we're actually providing the customer with a better product for a cheaper price and in a shorter turnaround. What is there to lose?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the ad right there. Like, I mean, what else can you say?
You know,
Do you apply RestorFX at all? Do you know how? I'm just curious. So you're managing Brian's show. Brian's shaking his head. He's like, oh.
You don't know
No,
nothing, dude.
no.
Okay, I'm just curious. I don't know.
I go back there and help them clean cars and stuff sometimes, but I just kind of tried to really, when I got here, I tried to really gain a grasp of the product and understand what its capabilities were, because I didn't want to be out there making false promises, telling a customer that it can fix something that it doesn't, because that's also how you lose out on your customer base. When you tell a guy something and then it doesn't really fix it, and then he gets there, he may pay for it. He may be like, yeah, cool, man, thank you. But when he leaves, it's just not really what he expected. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, when we're doing these things, that the customer experience is exactly where we want it to be. And I'm giving them, you know, proper expectations of what I can do for them.
I wasn't doing that to test you. I actually like that you don't apply product. I think that, and Ryan will agree with this. I'm very positive. When you do the work for so long, sometimes it becomes unimpressive. Like, I can fix a door ding, maybe a deep looking dent. It looks super bad. It's 4 inches long, and it takes me like 20 minutes. And I just do my. It doesn't get me excited. It doesn't impress me anymore. And so, like, I potentially have a hard time showing how excited I am to customers about fixing a dent, because I'm like, I can fix that dent. It'll take me like 20 minutes.
Done deal.
$400. But in your situation, you still have that like customer mentality, because you're not doing it. You're not applying it. You don't sometimes have problems with it. You don't sometimes have to like put in the work to do it. And so sometimes you just get a little jaded. So I love the fact that you're running the show and just like love the product, and you're like enthusiastic about that, because you're not doing it every single day. So there's something to be said about that, and which I think is potentially why you guys are having such success with each other there, right? Yeah. So what are the plans? Go ahead.
No, it's and I just find, you know, obviously we want to grow the retail side of it. That's our main goal, is to really, really get the retail side pumping. But man, also for our dealers, I just feel like, you know, when I tell them, like, dude, it's such a benefit. These guys are telling me they got guys out on their lots buffing on cars. You see there's polish and all the cracks where they're buffing on
holograms and stuff.
All everywhere. You know, they got these guys in their lots under tents doing all this stuff. They're sending them to detail shops, paying them $150 to do a detail, and they're just bringing you back a scratched vehicle. So, you know, I come in to them and I'm like, you know, we can be that service center for you. Even we have one of our dealers out here who has a lot of issues with newer vehicles. They get them in, they got transportation damage, all that stuff. I find that it's such a large benefit for them too, because for a customer, especially buying a used vehicle, I mean, I don't know about, you know, you guys, but when I'm looking at a vehicle, the outward exterior appearance is going to give me usually a pretty good idea of how the person before me had that vehicle and the kind of condition that they kept it in. The exterior is the first thing you see. So if I walk up to a 10-year-old 4Runner or whatever it is, and the paint's in great condition, my overall view of that vehicle is going to be very different from the start. So when a salesman's out there selling a vehicle to a customer, they're already got a leg up, because they're not sitting there like, man, you know, there's scratches on this. They're already got it in the mindset like, man, whoever had this vehicle must have really, really took care of it.
They're like, it was garage. They got like the maintenance record.
Glove box, man. Like that. Somebody that did the maintenance plan for 10 years in their vehicle, bro. Like, I mean, like I said, one of our dealers brought us the other day a 2007 Jeep Wrangler, and it was horrible. I mean, it was so scratched up. All the plastics were totally hammered. We took that vehicle in a day and brought it back to them, and they could not believe. The salesman didn't think that it was the same vehicle. That's how drastic of a transformation it was. They said, dude, we can't believe the capability of this, because they had their detail guys, you know, they are on commission. They're paying them $150, $200, but the vehicle was coming out clean, you know? So you're basically throwing away that $200 when you just pay me another $250, $200, depending on the condition of the vehicle. And we give you a product that's leaps and bounds above what they can do. And the turnaround still quick. You pick it up in the afternoon, you got it back on your lot the next morning.
This is what I love about Jared, is he wants every single person, whether it's a dealership or a retail customer, to know about this product. And for instance, like he when he came in, he's like, he's asking for a list of all the dealers that we do work with, and he'd ask like, "Hey man, what about this Motor City?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really do anything with them." He's like, "Oh no, we're doing something for them." And then they're like one of our best customers. Like he's talking about that's where the Jeep came from.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm putting this in everybody's hands and letting them make the decision. Which every time he's done it so far, it's like the decision is to keep sending more business, right? Whether it's a retail customer or a wholesale, right? It's been great.
Yeah, that's killer, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, it really, I wanted to kind of pitch it to our dealers that I wanted to be able to open up what you can buy. So when you're at the auction, don't think so much about the visual appearance of the vehicle. Or when you're doing a trade-in, if it's got scratches on it, yeah, try to, get it as low as you can, but always keep in mind that I can make that vehicle look years. I can add 10 years back to that vehicle, and you're going to be able to gain whatever money that you think you may have lost out of that deal in the value of the vehicle's going to look 10 times better than what it did. I mean, we literally, that blue Camry that we took from Aaron, we literally pulled back up on the lot with it, and the customers are like, they bought it right then and there on the spot. They couldn't believe the way the car came back looking and the way it looked when they traded it in.
Yeah, that's killer, dude. I mean, you're saying all the right things. I totally agree with you. And I know, Ryan, why you're so stoked. I remember talking about this. Like, you're like, this is what we all want in our front office. So, I mean, congrats to you, Jared, for finding Ryan and having it all work out. I want to know. I'm curious how much you guys can share about where you guys said there's a vision, right, of where you want to take the thing. And I think as a business owner, that's super, super important. Like, no one necessarily wants to come work for a company that's like, we're just going to stay the same and we're just going to like process the cars and like, will there be more money for you later? I don't know. Is there opportunity to grow? I'm not sure. Like, no one wants to work for those people, really. I mean, they will. Some people will, but you're not going to get Jared. You're not going to get fucking Jared to do it. I can tell you that much.
Right.
He's excited. He wants to do something together. So as a business owner, if you want to find good hires, potentially, I think that you need to create that vision for success. One of my, I would call him my mentor, but one of my favorite people is Ed Milet, big podcast. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but I think one of the biggest podcasts ever. One of his sayings is that you're as a business owner, your vision has to be so big that everybody that working for you, their vision can fit inside of that.
Right.
And I think that's true. And I'm hearing that from you guys. So I'm curious if you guys can share. I know, Ryan, a little bit of the backstory. I don't know what can be known. So I'm asking the question, share with what you can.
Yeah, it's actually getting pretty close.
Getting scary.
So something
it's
that
scary.
I've always, it's when you have say if you're a dent guy, or say you own a dent company, right? All your customers, when you do such a good job with them and your customer experience is so good that whenever they need another service, they call you automatically, right? Like we had so many people just showing back up at the shop and they're like, "Hey man, I need my wheels, I need some new tires on my car.
Or my
where can I
headlights,
go?" Right? Whatever it can be. And we were like always that guy to like refer all this work out, right? So I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great that we create one location to house all these services and the capabilities of satisfying all the customers, right? So I tell Jared about it, and Jared calls me back the next day and he's like, "Are you serious about wanting to do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm actually."
Was he working for you? He was working for you?
No, this was when he was at the other guy, right? So I said, I just acquired a piece of property that's going to be able to do this. We're going to be able to have, all the different automotive businesses in there. We can have window tint, paint correction or RestorFX, paintless dent repair, rims, lifts, accessories, powder coating, interior detailing, mobile detailing, like whatever a customer can possibly want. We're going to do it, right? And Jared was like, I am in for that vision. And it's funny, ever since we've been talking about it, how much he's been implementing that in the business already, right? So we're already, all the people that are going to be moving with us into this location, he's already like, when people come in for a dent or RestorFX, he's like, "Oh man, you need some new tires on your car," right? So then he's selling them tires. or if their rims are messed up, they got a chip in their rim or a scrape on their rim. He's like, no problem. While your car's here, we're going to take care of all this for you. It's going to be here for a couple more days, but you're not going to have to bring it somewhere else. You're not going to pay another invoice, right? So what our plan is to create like an auto mall for customers to come to and get all the different services done at once. So that's why we're really ramping up on the retail side for RestorFX and having loaner vehicles for our customers to rent out if they need be, right? Everything that it takes to make that customer do business with us and then go tell every single person that they know about it is kind of the vision of what we're looking at doing and implementing, which is we're down to the wire on it now. So it's happening.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. Yeah, so I mean, that just proved my point. I knew like what you were doing with the building and stuff. I didn't realize that. Well, I don't think I ever made the connection that you told Jared, and then he was like, "Can I come work for you and do that for you with you?" Right? That's right. Pretty cool. But that just proves the point. Like, you got to have that vision. You got to be growing. You got to have the risk before you.
Something about Jared, I think 15 years ago, he did something that was pretty smart. Every customer this guy's phone rings more than anybody's phone I've ever been around. So when you put us two in a car together, we can't even talk to each other. We're just on the phone. So everybody he did business with, he created this thing. It was like, just call Jared, right? Everybody around town is like, man, you need this, just call Jared. You need this done, just call Jared, right? So our expectation now is to create like an auto mall or whatever we're gonna call it, and it's just gonna be like, hey, just go there or just call that company. They got you taken care of, right? And Jared is gonna be able to help us implement that because he's been doing it for the past 15 years, right?
Yeah,
he's so humble too. He's like.
No, man, it's just like I'm not. I'm just another guy. I'm just another cog in the machine, man.
Just a car, dude.
It was just, it just felt natural for me and Ryan to pair up and become business partners, just because, like I said, of the vision that we had for the growth of where we wanted to be. And like you said, you mentioned it too. It's also a good thing for your employees, because you don't want your employees to ever feel stuck, to feel like, well, man, this is all we're gonna be, this is all we'll ever be, and this is just the end all. You want
they look for an exit plan. They're always looking for an exit plan.
So everybody wants to grow, man. Everyone wants to improve their life. If they don't now, in 3 years from now, they probably will, or they get married and have a kid or whatever, and they're like, oh shit, I need to do more. Like,
so we just hope that we can, like, not only show them, what our goals are and where we're going to be, because we're gonna make these things happen. Is just to be ready and come along for the ride. But it kind of, it helps ignite that fire in your guys when they see like, oh well, man, there's opportunities for us to do this. And if we decide we want to, open another RestorFX center somewhere, we tell them we're gonna have to grow from within. We're not gonna go hire some guy who's never coded vehicles before and have him teaching other guys how to code vehicles. So there's so much possibility for growth, especially in this industry, and especially for our dealers. It's such a great thing. We'll be able to walk to our dealers with a packet and say, hey, look, what do you need? Everything. You need new services, you need powder coat, you need window tint, you need all that stuff. Just give it to us. Just send the vehicle right to me and we'll get it all taken care of. So, there's not a place that I know of, even in the general vicinity in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, that even really has that same concept. There's some shops that, do rims, tires, and, wraps and stuff. But we're just trying to take everything that can coexist without stepping on each other's toes. And with the paintless dent repair, the RestorFX, and all these things we're talking about, these things all literally go hand in hand.
And you're not gonna own all the companies in there.
So that's what's crazy is like, some of them were not like window tint.
Rent spaces.
We're gonna rent spaces to the best window tinter in the city, and then we have a mobile detailer guy who has a detailing company. He does high-end paint corrections, because let's face it, RestorFX isn't for every vehicle. Right?
I was gonna ask that question, and if you have a high-end Ferrari,
this has been hard for me. We just had a conversation because I just pulled this guy in, and he actually used to work here for me. and he became Dupree's Detailing is his name, but he's known around town for doing like the highest end, paint correction and on the best cars. So I wanted to be able to take him, put him in our location, because we want the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris and the Bentleys and all that stuff coming through the door, because they're going to need everything else, right? So we're going to be leasing to them window tints and all the other companies we're going to own as far as wheels, tires, lifts, accessories, and stuff like that. So that's where Jared comes in, and he's got the all the knowledge on it, right?
Yeah.
And the connection.
Are you going to have a body shop?
So I have a half an acre next door that in 3 years we are thinking about doing it, but our main thing is keeping everything like paintless, reconditioning, right? If we see in 3 years that our customers really need it, we will jump into it, but it's just something that needs to be right for everybody. I don't want it to clash, like Jared said a little while ago. We don't want it to clash with anything else, which I don't see.
No, I totally get that. Yeah,
right. But I'd lease out to a body shop, right? I don't even want. I know how to paint cars. I don't want to do that. I'd just rather lease the space out and get the best people in town. So I want to be there. Every single person that we've talked to about wanting to get in on this deal, they love it because of how much extra business they're going to get, right? They're like, man, somebody comes in for window tint, they got a dent, they want to get ceramic coating, or they might need wheels, right? It's just, dude, I think the customer experience is going to be so great.
Yeah, I mean that's literally a newsworthy item too. Like, there's no reason why the news wouldn't be out there introducing.
Yeah, no. I mean, we have
car shows, everything.
Car shows we do with the because I have a lot of friends that are in the police in Lafayette, so we're going to do something. So we have a lot of big things in plan. So we want to make sure that we're also doing our part in our community, but also creating something to where we want our customer experience to be bar none, to where everybody leaves it and like, man, you got to go to these guys. And that was another thing too, is when I just looked up, and you even look at reviews on Dent Pro, when I was looking at where I was going to go, you could tell how much Ryan cares about, his customers being the number one goal is making them happy. Every customer that comes in, every customer that leaves here, they're always like, oh yeah, man, I hear about you guys. I heard about what you guys do. Everybody says you guys, go to you guys. So we've already kind of Ryan's already kind of built that reputation. So I would just like to expand and grow on that, so people can see that not only do we have capability to do dents and paintless quick coat repair, but all these other things at a high level also, which is why we wanted to be super, super selective with the other people that we bought into this process, because we wanted them to not only see our vision, but also understand our vision for our customers and our customer experience, because that, in a small town like this is super, super important.
That's killed, dude. I picture this, like, this may not be what it looks like. I picture this row of buildings, and then Jared's at like this desk, like he's like he's the guy, like he's the valet, and they just pull up, and he's like, "Oh, you need these 4 things?" Like, boom, boom, boom. I feel like it's just like have this vision of him just like telling, like, "All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do A, B, C, D." I don't know. It sounds pretty awesome, dude. I've known a little bit about it, but this is
really because cool. I mean, just seeing, like, we had a customer come in the other day. We did some dents on his truck. He's got gray wheels on his black truck, and I'm like, man, you need to let us powder coat those wheels. You don't have anything else gray on your truck. He's like, you're right, man. I never thought about that. That would look good. So it's just things like that like customers don't even really know that they want, but from just us having knowledge in the industry,
like an interior designer for cars.
showing them, hey man, we can make your vehicle look 10 times better than what it does now, and you not have to spend a lot of money. And most of the time, the customers that we're getting in here, especially if you're worried about little dents and stuff on your car, you obviously really care about your vehicle. To be able to worry about some little small dent that bothers you that's in your door, even if it's some large dent,
a couple $100.
You have to care about your vehicle to even come see us, to be worried about things like that. So you already have customers who obviously, understand that it takes money to take care of your vehicle. So those are the type of people that we want anyway, especially guys. We look at guys that are coming in for wraps or for powder coat or for, window tint. All those things are things that have to do with you caring about the condition of your vehicle. So we find that all those things will just really, really work well together.
Fascinating too, because like you can like if you have a hand in all of it, or maybe you don't, tinting and detailing or whatever, but like you can be like, hey, let's discuss what's the best thing for your vehicle. Like I know that Matt Moore uses the analogy a lot of like the urgent care versus the ER and the like you're gonna have the full, like we have Kaisers out here, like they do everything. They do the ER and the urgent care and all the different types of doctors. So you're gonna be like coming in and you're like, hey, let's look at your car. Like what are your goals? What's the best way to do it? Like, yeah, you should go to the high-end detailer, or you should get RestorFX done, or you should do these 3 things because that's going to make the biggest improvement. Or how much money do you want to spend? Okay, cool. Let's do this, this, and this, and just maybe save the ceramic coating for a different time or something. I think that's pretty. Instead of trying to find the customer that fits in our little box that we've created, like PDR or RestorFX or whatever, you're finding the customer and then putting it in the box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also too, because I feel like ceramic has been so oversold in the industry as to what its capabilities are and what it does. So customers come in and they know that ceramic's good for a vehicle, but they don't really know why. They've heard that it stops rock chips. And I'm like, man, I promise you, if any guy's telling you that you're going to be driving 80 miles an hour down the interstate and a rock's going to hit your vehicle, no. Ceramic isn't
it's going to protect it?
No, it's not happening. So for those customers, you want to kind of push them over into the PPF side of it. But then they may not want to PPF their whole vehicle. So you ceramic the vehicle and then do a ceramic PPF on the nose of the vehicle. So there's so many options, because a lot of people that want to take care of their vehicles don't always understand the proper way to do that. A lot of people like cars and know vehicles, but don't know a lot about the intricacies of it.
They just want to drive fast, shiny shit.
You know,
basically.
fast,
majority
nice,
of them,
look good. Everybody tell them their car's cool. You know,
y'all said it a minute ago. Like most customers really don't even know what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's what you said. Yeah.
When you bring them in and you offering all these services at such an easy way for them to get it, it's like Jared says it all the time. He's like, dude, you know how easy it is for me to sell somebody a pair of tires when they come in here to do a dent. It's like the easiest thing on the planet.
That's I've never once thought about that.
I mean, we have customers coming in here and they're fixing a $15,000 hail job on their car, but your tires are about to blow.
And you're like, they're bald, dude.
Metal show.
See the wire here? That's not good.
Yeah, I'm like, sir, this is unsafe. You should not be driving your vehicle like this. The guy's like, I need tires right now. Like, let's go. I want to do them before I leave. So that's why we're working on these things, because it's going to make the whole flow of everything and just give our customers such a better experience, because they don't have to go and leave. Okay, well, man, who do I go to for tires, bro? Then I got to call this guy. Hey, man, I'm sending a friend. I'm sending a customer over, yada, yada. No, we'll be able to say, we'll take care of everything for you. Just come pick up your car in about a day or two, and it'll be in great condition.
Can't wait, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Dent Tech meetup once we get the project finished. So we'll have something big for all the PDR guys and anybody in the automotive industry to come out and kind of see what we have going on to hopefully replicate this everywhere. It'd be great.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're really. Go ahead.
I feel like before I knew about RestorFX, I feel like RestorFX kind of filled the gap to potentially make this type of situation happen, because there was such a big area of difference between like paint correction and full repaint. Paint correction,
right.
It can only do so much stuff. Yeah, it's like $1,000, $2,000 maybe for the right people, $3,000 if it's like super high end. But then you got like full repaint, like $10,000, and there was like this huge void that like there was never an option for. And RestorFX, I wonder how much you doing RestorFX over the last few years made this vision more of a reality.
Well, the customers that come, man, it's like the customers are like, man, I only spent $700. Maybe I have some money to put some wheels and tires on my car, or get this dent fixed, or put some tint on my car, right? It opens up the option for them to be able to see the value. They've already went to a body shop, right? They've gone to a body shop. They got a $10,000 estimate just to make their car look good. So they come to us, man. It's funny because my wife's on TikTok a lot talking about like the way people value money. And if you return something, that's free. That's free, right? So if somebody goes to a body shop and gets a $10,000 estimate, comes to us, we fix their car for $800. They're like, man, I got
I made $9,200.
I made $9,200. So I have some room to spend some stuff somewhere else and get more value out of just bringing it to a body shop, right? So that's kind of our vision,
I guess, right? Like it was this price, but now it's this price, and you're like, oh shit, it's basically I have to buy it.
And
right.
And when you explain to the customer, what they're getting, because they're the paint correction guy said he could do it for $1,500, but they don't really realize that when somebody's telling them, oh, we're doing a 4-step or a 5-step paint correction, that's how much they're cutting down.
That is. Yeah,
that's so. Not only do I like that the RestorFX fills that gap, but it's also a actually good thing for the customer. It's actually doing the customer a service, which, the paint correction is giving you the visual, side of it, but it's not,
mask, though.
It's a mask, it's not actually like, with the Restore being 10 microns of coating on top of your factory clear coat, customers really just like hearing that they're not only are we going to take away all the damage, but we're going to have to add extra protection onto your vehicle throughout that process. And they're just like, well, where they don't understand where this has been the whole time.
Yeah, that's the problem. They think sometimes it tips into like that feels too good to be true. I'm like, I know it does. I know. Here's a warranty card. Let me do it. I'll prove it to you.
And then they go tell all their friends about it. Because a lot of the retail that we get now is a lot of hearsay. A lot of guys saying, hey man, my friend told me he did this to his car for $800. I want to do that to mine. And we're like, yeah, dude, let us show you what we can do.
Yeah.
They literally had a lady that came over here. I don't know if Ryan, you remember the lady with the red Tahoe? It was in such bad condition, and she was just devastated because every paint correction guy that she went to, every body shop that she went to said, you're going to have to repaint your vehicle. There's just no way around it. They cannot get it back looking with paint correction or without paint.
Was it oxidized?
No, it did have some oxidation on it, but it was like that burgundy red that was just no gloss to it at all, right?
Yeah.
Full of scratches, like she'd been driving through the trees. So we brought it in, and I mean, I swear this lady was almost brought to tears when she saw her vehicle, because not only did it bring back the shine to the paint, like I said, because you're obviously, when people build show cars and all that stuff, they add more clear to the vehicle because it adds the depth to the paint.
Yeah.
So she hadn't seen her vehicle look like that even when she had first got it. I mean, she was almost really in tears because she couldn't believe how the vehicle looked even better than it did the first day that she got it. It just added that depth to that red and gave it that really, really ruby look,
killer,
that shine, and she just couldn't believe it.
My kids started watching like home renovation shows, and I don't really sit and watch them too much, but I'll walk by, and at the end of the thing, they had this like big
where you open it and
they're like, oh, it was like before.
Man, that's a great idea, dude. That's a great idea.
They like had the thing of the before, and it was like,
let's go,
and then just like
we got home
production. Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool though. That'd be pretty cool to make a commercial out of it almost.
Yeah, and that's
But you do. But the point is, you do get that reaction out of RestorFX. Like that's the thing. Like,
and it's good
that you can get that reaction is crazy.
Yeah, and when the customer comes in and they can't believe that they got that for under $1,000, they're like, "What in what space can you totally transform your vehicle for under $1,000 with anything? You can't put rims and tires on your vehicle. You can't lift it. You can't. There's nothing that you can do for under $1,000.
Sick carbon fiber kit off Amazon.
Yeah, same for something like that.
Stick on carbon fiber.
Then you'll end up with the it won't last stuff. I'm not giving you a card for that one. That's not lifetime. That's that brake light warranty.
Yeah, right. Oh man, that's pretty cool though. But that's true. I love it. I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully I can make it out to whatever you guys are doing when you do it. But I can't wait to see it.
What I was telling Ryan too is I just feel like as far as PDR goes, accessories should be a natural progression for like PDR shops because of the amount of disassembly that you're already doing on vehicles anyways. Like a buddy of mine needed some headlights put in his car. Yeah, dude, I can get headlights put in your car. We pull bumpers apart and pull headlights out every day to do dents. So why not just pull them apart, charge a guy for a set of headlights, and put them in his car? It's stuff that we already do all the time anyway. So I just felt like it was a really, really natural progression because they're already really adept at doing things like this already anyways. I mean, you're pulling headliners out of, 2022, 2023 cars that some people are scared to even touch.
Yeah. You're like, you could do a headlight.
Yeah, so it just felt like it was only a natural progression for us.
Right. How many other people do you have working for you besides Jared?
We kind of slimmed down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. Like 4, right?
I think we have 4 people. Yeah.
Are they like? Yeah. This is a good thing. I don't want to say this is a bad thing, but are they sometimes like, really, you want us to like fucking do headlights now? Do they ever think that? Because I feel like maybe they're like, wait, you want us to do this, or we're like supposed to drive it over here for the tire shop or anything like that? It's a good thing. I think we should be pushing on them. But Jared's like, all right, we're doing headlights, tires.
I see where you're going.
Repair,
I see where you're going.
They're like, what the fuck? I was just trying to wipe shit on a car, dude.
But we talked about it earlier. Our vision is so big that their vision should fit into it, right? So we speak to these guys as much as possible to let them know where we're going and what our expectations are.
You don't just like,
hey, we're doing this today. No, there's always, because you want your guys to be along for the ride too, and understand that, like, hey, the reason why we're reaching a little outside to do these things, or like, normally we were leaving on Fridays early, the reason why we're staying a little later is because we're trying to get to a certain point to where we can move you to another point, maybe, so if you want to grow and you feel like you're a part of this business, and let's take this ride together, so don't just look at it as in like, we're trying to throw a bunch of stuff on your plate just to throw a bunch of stuff on your plate and it benefit us. It's something that's going to benefit the business and something that will, hopefully eventually benefit us all as a whole.
Jared, tell him about the going through life. I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry when he was in a meeting with all of our guys in the back, and he said this saying, and I literally was about to cry. Tell him.
So, it was more of a backstory to it, but I'll give you just the gist of it. I'm kind of the type of person that, I truly believe, we all know that as human beings, nobody is perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Ryan's not perfect. We're in our life going to make mistakes. So what is the most that you can ask of a person? The pursuit of perfection, is using every day to grow and try to become the best version of yourself that you can be. So what I try to tell my guys is, if there's one thing that I try to live and guide my whole life by, is don't go through life, grow through life. Use every single time, whether it's a good time, a bad thing, whether it's something horrible, the worst moment in your life, use that and learn from it and grow from it and become a better version of yourself. Because you can't get down on yourself when you're constantly doing everything you can to be the best person that you can possibly be, because nobody else can expect any more from you, and you shouldn't expect any more from yourself. And I feel like if most people would just, view life that way and approach everything that way, that people would be a lot better off.
That's a good ending.
I don't think there's anyone listening to this now that doesn't want to create what you guys are creating. Like and that's the feeling I'm getting. Like I'm getting that feeling personally, and so I know other guys are. They're like, okay, how can I start to create more of an environment like that? Step number 1, get a shop, right? Create the shop environment. It's really difficult doing mobile. But little baby steps. Start growing towards that. Ryan, this vision didn't happen for you overnight. You've had a shop forever. You've chased tail. You've started RestorFX. You've grown RestorFX. You've had RestorFX dip down. You've let go of people. All that stuff. All experience. All moving forward. That's killer, dude. Jared, you're awesome, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you on. I'm happy for Ryan, honestly. I can't wait to see you guys create. Hopefully I can come out and meet you in person one day. And that was
for sure, man. Absolutely.
Good luck, guys. You guys are on the right track, dude. It's exciting.
Thanks.
Very exciting. Yeah.
See y'all on the next one.
Yeah,
that's it.
We get the positive reinforcement. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Later.